Here we go. Making messes.
Your here's leaking in the wall. So turn it off. Turn it off. Okay, so how do we get to that quick? Do we need to...
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. First off, sorry for the mess. Today's project, water. Everything here is getting ready to be moved into its permanent home in there. We have been spending the last few days piping, as you can see up here, trying to get everything set up. Everything's a bit of a mess, so sorry about that. But the goal today is I'm going to finish a few of the connections that we need in there. Then I'm draining the system right now. You might be able to hear it. And we are going to start cutting lines and moving everything into its permanent home in there, where it will be nice and neat and orderly and not this massive chaos that it is here. Lacey should be home a little later to help me out. But for now, I'm just gonna get started with connections and draining and prepping. So that way when she gets back here, we can start moving that beast because it's slightly heavy. There we go. Making messes. Making messes. Do some tea.
Way easier when it's empty.
Water softener, pressure tank. And the pressure tank we're going to break off. Running in the cold line, key there. Cold line can connect to that. And then we'll have a hot line in the wall. So this is coming out nice and clean. It's looking good. It's gonna run through here, and everything. After it comes out of here, it's almost perfectly lined up with a pressure tank.
Nice.
I know you've been doing stuff like this for too long when you get excited about little things like that.
Or you had a previous setup that was so messy.
So bad. It was so bad.
It just looked like a madman had set it up.
Yeah, I hated it.
So he was even using his level, making sure that things were level. Why am I laughing at that? I don't know, but
It looks good so far.
it does. It looks great. So we did make a couple changes with some valves and stuff. It might look a little overkill, but
It's not.
it's not because there's two things in this house that we've have to work on. Or have had to work on a lot, which is
Water softeners and water filters and
water softener and water filters.
just water.
Over and over and over again.
Everything
So,
water.
Yes.
This is a new attempt at a water softener because the other two that I've gotten broke. So we're gonna try this out and see if it works.
Okay, so this is what he was talking about. We've had two of these Rheem water softeners, which should be just a simple water softener, and it has salt tablets that you have to fill up ever so often. And ours would never drain. We have a drain system and everything in, but they would never drain correctly. And so they would fill up and we would have to siphon the water out of them. And it was such a pain to do. So we replaced the first one probably after 4 months of having it because of that problem. And we got a new one in and hoping that would, would solve the problem, but it did not. So, like Michael said, we're going to a fully different system, one that doesn't need... Elisha he's being crazy. But this one doesn't need the salt.
This one is saltless, and it doesn't require a backwash. So the issue that we've been having is the backwashes in those, the pump keeps failing, and it just fills up with water. And taking them both apart, and cleaning them, and went through the troubleshooting thing that they said, and it just nothing got it. Just I don't know what's wrong with them. So I'm just tired of fighting with Home Depot and Rheem to get it done. So we tried this out. This doesn't require any backwash. It's supposed to last for 6 years, and I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands of gallons of water.
With no maintenance for 6 years, right?
Too much. Virtually no maintenance.
And we have super hard water here. It's like
Very hard.
just very hard. Lots and lots of iron in our water. So we're hoping it will last 6 years, but we will see.
The last longer than 4 months, it was a win.
The last longer than 4 months, it was a win, he says. I don't know about that. I expect it to last several years.
My expectations for things are low.
So, hopefully, we just won't have to deal with any more water softener issues.
Oh, crap. Crap, hold on. It's all falling apart. Guess you're supposed to crimp it as you go, but I don't want to because I don't want to mess it up. Alrighty. Nobody tells you when you're doing this that these little crimp ratings are the make it or break it. Alright, now we gotta drill a hole. I need an elbow. Probably put a couple holes through the rafters here.
Wake all the kids up.
You can do it quietly.
We have no choice. Okay, the moment has come and we have to turn the water on. So after moving pretty much the entire system, it's a little nerve-wracking, but it has to happen. So Michael's really nervous, but I'm sure that everything's gonna go just fine. And so the moment has come and here goes. Ready to turn the water on?
Yeah, I need you to go over to the inlet. Make sure it doesn't leak.
Okay. Woo! Hear it going through the pipes.
Nothing wrong with the inlet. It's leaking.
Oh, yeah, right here. Something below and through here is leaking in the wall. So turn it off. Turn it off. Okay, so how do we get to that quick?
It's
Do we need to...
upstairs.
Okay. It's coming down from upstairs? something wasn't capped. So we have, it's definitely leaking down here. I saw it leaking.
Stairs and check upstairs.
Yeah, throughout the wall. So this would be in the bathroom upstairs. So we're gonna go check. Okay, so we found the culprit. We had some plumbers come in when we first moved in the house just to kind of plumb a few of the lines to get us started because we didn't have the time. We were fighting against time and I was having a baby. So, yeah, that was one thing that Michael said that he didn't check, was making sure that the shower is plugged because there's tons of stuff in front of here. As you can see, boxes on the other side, which is our future bathroom, and the lines completely not plugged. So we had, so yeah, it was probably just flooding out of here and going down, which is exactly what it was doing for probably both of these lines. So there's one here, and we know we only have one plug. So, whew. Anyways, so yes, it's completely wet all the way down through downstairs. Thankfully, it didn't go too long, so hopefully it's not going to be that big of an issue. It should dry out. Yes, and we'll put a system in to help suck that water out. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Now it's just trying to figure out the dilemma of capping both of those, since we have already been in town twice today just to get a couple items that we forgot. So it's getting late, and it's not what we want to do for one plug, but also that means that we can have water tonight. So ready? Okay, so he's turning the water on. We're gonna kind of get some of the air out of the system, and then we'll connect them. So I've got a bucket to obviously collect the water because it's gonna happen. And then I can see how fast some of this water was flowing out, or if it was just, or if it really wasn't bad. It's not constant, so there's still some air. So, still just out of the cold.
And then we're gonna just wait for the hot water to fill up. Once it fills up, we'll start to do that same thing.
Okay.
The only things that failed were the professionals that came in and did the plumbing. Everything else that I've touched has been good.
Only things that the plumbers did before that went wrong, I shouldn't say the only things, because it did create some water issues here, was our upstairs future shower. They forgot to plug.
Yeah, they didn't plug at all. It just was two little things sticking out.
Yeah. So they had ran the pipe and didn't plug it. And then down here was they forgot to crimp
One of the connections.
yeah, one of the connections. So, and it's a total different crimping system too. So, Michael had to, yeah, he had to fix that problem real quick. So while we were upstairs, it was pouring out of the hot water down here, right?
I wasn't down here when I was doing it.
You weren't?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, yeah, I was like, yeah, I thought you were.
I was like, turn it off.
I heard you screaming, but I couldn't figure out what you were yelling about. All I heard was buckets, buckets, I need
And I
buckets.
dumped everything out, sorry.
Oh yeah, because I had cleaned up everything and put it in the bucket.
I needed a bucket that gets water. It was like just pouring too. Because as soon as it got some pressure, it was just...
Oh no. Oh, well, it sounds good. Things seem to be okay.
Kind of like the last
The last thing, just making sure that the pressure tank is holding pressure because we've had an issue with an air bubble or something like that
Yeah,
before.
but the water softener's not leaking.
Hey, that's great. Oh, I just hope this water softener works out.
Whoops! Should take that screw out. My bad.